The message of this video is that you can't help people who don't want to be helped. And this video is going to be triggering for some people, but oftentimes as we awaken or start becoming more consciously aware and knowledgeable, we naturally just want to share information. We want to give people information, tell people stuff, and give people things. But the problem comes when you start forcing stuff, when people don't want to hear what you have to say, or when you keep trying to repeat yourself over and over and force your version of reality onto other people. Because people are operating at different levels of consciousness, people are also operating in different realities. So yes, while we may be able to interact with each other on the same plane of existence, this person has their reality and you have your reality. You know, when I was what people would call a young adult, 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever, there was a time when all I cared about was really just eating junk. I ate a lot of hamburgers, hot dogs, pizza, french fries, chicken nuggets, and all sorts of stuff. And I wasn't as health conscious. And sure, I may have had some people who tried to tell me, hey, you should eat more healthy or do this. And it would just go in one ear and out the other. And once they got finished done talking, I would continue on living my life the way I wanted. And I was always a very hard-headed person. But currently where I'm at, you could say I'm almost the complete opposite. I am very health conscious, and while I still may eat some stuff that isn't quote unquote the best, I'm still very health conscious about the way that I eat. So as I became more conscious, I became more aware, and I naturally started doing things that were aligned with the new version of myself and reality. And words indeed can make people conscious. This is why you'll have something like a toddler or a little kid who just runs around with snot just running out of their nose until an adult makes them consciously aware that, hey, you shouldn't run around like that, wipe your nose. And then eventually it just becomes a natural instinct or part of their habit where when their nose starts running, they start wiping it. And words can also make people consciously aware of something that isn't even truly a problem. Like I brought up in other videos, how bullying works. People speak curses or whatever onto you. Like I've had people before insult me about my hair. Someone who operates at a low level of consciousness would take that in, internalize it, fall into a pit of despair, and accept it as a reality of themselves, that insult. But someone who operates at a higher level of consciousness, that negative remark would bounce off of them, or they would just be unfazed. But words do have the power to raise people up or lower them down in consciousness, but only if it's accepted by the individual that those words are given to. But you can't force people to elevate or transcend their reality. There's a time and a place for everyone to do it. Just like there was a time when no matter what anyone told me about what I was eating or whatever else I was doing, I was not willing to accept it because at that time it did not fit the version of me and it did not align or resonate with who I was. So the point I'm making is, yeah, you could shine your light, you could be giving information to people, but if people aren't receiving it, that's fine. It just means they're on a different level of consciousness than you or on a different frequency. And no matter what, they're not going to receive what you're giving, no matter how many times you repeat yourself or how loudly you speak. The mind is a receiver. So you could look at, I'm going to use this analogy. Look at the mind as being like a walkie-talkie. So if you're on one frequency and someone else is on a different frequency, no matter how loud you speak, they're not going to be able to hear and receive what you're saying because you guys are on two different frequencies. And like I say in any video when I get into this, I am not a religious person, nor am I part of any organized religion, but I realize there's a lot of hidden spiritual messages in the Bible, and it was actually a spiritual book. So if you take the words of Yeshua, Jesus Christ, Isa, whatever name you want to refer to him as, he even stated, all those who will not receive you, shake the dust off your boots and continue on to the next city. This was talking about consciousness. People don't realize it. It says Adam was formed from the dust or the dirt. It talked about how the serpent would eat up the dust all the days of its life. Dust, dirt, which is actually earth, is the lowest form of consciousness. Earth, water, wind, or air. These were all metaphorical things within the Bible talking about consciousness, but that's a whole nother video and topic. And that's why it says, shake the dust off your boots, because it was letting you know those who are on the lowest level of consciousness, the dust, the dirt, the earth, get away from them or continue to move on away from them because they're not going to be able to receive you anyway. Like even this YouTube channel, anybody who knows of me, I have not told them, hey, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. You need to watch my videos. If you're seeing any of my videos, it's because of your search history or the YouTube algorithm recommended a video based off of what you tend to watch. But anyone has the option where if they don't want to watch my videos, they could gladly just click off and not watch. You see, with wisdom, with knowledge, with knowing comes a lot of weight, comes a lot of what people would call responsibility. This is why even like someone like King Solomon said, the greater my wisdom, the greater my sorrows. Knowledge increases, so does suffering. Everybody is not ready to receive certain information, and when they are ready to receive, they will receive. So some more personal experience I could share is I've had people in life lots of times come to me for advice. And the thing is that when I start giving people advice or I start talking to people about stuff, the thing is I don't sugarcoat, I don't tend to lie, I don't tend to deceive. I just tell it to people how it is. And I won't like go out my way to like disrespect them or insult them or anything like that, but I'm not sugarcoating. I'm telling people straight up how it is. And what ends up happening is lots of times that information that I gave people, they don't even try it. They don't even apply it. They don't even use it or try to see if it will make things better or implement it, because the information that I gave them is not what they wanted to hear. So instead of applying it, they've just chosen to go back and continue repeating old cycles because they weren't ready to receive it. There's this quote I love, and it says, for one to be wise, they must first be a fool, or something along those lines. And I love that quote because it is a reflection of me and so many other people. There was a time in my life when I was a complete fool, not only in the way I thought, but the way I acted and the way I just existed. And from me being a fool, it granted me a lot of lessons, a lot of experiences that I was able to learn and grow from. So when you look at someone's life and it looks like they're just a fool, you know, they don't know what they're doing, whatever else, sure, shine your light, sure, try to inform them. But if they're not, if they cannot receive what you're giving them, just allow them to be, and things will work itself out naturally, and they will gain experiences from the way that they are living. And this will trigger or be catalyst that will allow their consciousness to rise. Hope this video helps some of you. Take care.